Hello, hello. Happy July. It has been a minute and since I have been live here on LinkedIn and YouTube, and I am so glad to be back here. I'm excited about this short episode. It'll probably be about 20 minutes, is what I'm kind of shooting for. Because there's been a ton of changes to StreamYard. Some good, some not so favorite of mine. And so I'm excited to kind of share a little bit more about like what's changed, what I like, what I'm still not thrilled about, and answer any of your questions. Like, please, 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 as you come in, say hello. I like knowing you're there. I promise I am actually here live on the other side, and I want to hear from you. So I want to hear if you're using StreamYard, if there's anything that you've run into that you have questions about, please drop them in the comments. I have a loose like outline and presentation that I'm going to kind of run through, but I do always like the interaction just so I know what y'all are kind of looking for. Kelly, I love getting two times of Shelby in 1 week. Yes, okay, cool, Kelly. So as we go, because I know that you've been very interested in StreamYard, so I'm so proud of you for actually taking the plunge. But I'm sure there is a million questions you might have. So please feel free to ask away. Like me and you, we can talk this through. Kim, thanks for being here. We do. We love a live. Like we're actually live. Okay, already with a good question coming in from Kim, which is what do you wish StreamYard would add in the future? So I'm going to talk a little bit more about this later on in this presentation, but I think that they are so close to being good at generating AI clips. So there's lots of AI coming out around taking long form content and making it shorter. And I'm really excited about it. I've not yet found a software that like I'm like, sweet, like now I don't have to do the editing that I'm used to doing. So one thing that I would love, love, love for StreamYard to offer is editing of their AI clips. So they have AI clips already where you can hit this nice little button that says like generate an AI clip from this long episode, but they don't allow you to actually edit. So I will show you. Let me know if like you want to see that earlier on because I had that later on in like what I was planning to talk about. But I will show you the difference between like what they generate, what the AI generates, and then what like my team has generated. And what I would love is if they gave us like an option to take those AI clips that are generated and edit them because they're just like sometimes they're just like not quite right. Other times they're like completely like they cut a lot. So that for sure would be the feature that I would request the most is some sort of editing of the AI clips. So I know Opus, Kim is asking, does another platform let you edit? Opus is one that I've played around with a little bit. My biggest like gripe with Opus, OPUS, is that the clips that it pulls, I wouldn't necessarily have chosen. So I'll like listen to a conversation because I'm producing the conversation, and what they pull seems really generic to like what the actual good nuggets are. So hey, Giacomo, thanks for coming in. I'm so excited that you are coming to Nashville, and we need to talk about plans. So thank you for just popping in for a second. You guys are the best. Okay, so anybody who's new here, the people I see in the comments, they know me pretty well, but if anybody is new here or watching this back, a little bit about me. I'm a live stream producer and I like to call myself a content traffic cop. So I'm not necessarily producing content for other people. I'm helping the content get where it needs to go when it needs to go there. So I'm kind of like a squeaky wheel is one thing that I always say. Let's see. Tosh says, sometimes you just need the extra 10 seconds of the clip, but it won't let you grab it. Exactly. So it's like, it's so frustrating because sometimes it's like almost good. And then you just can't, like, you can't edit it to just be just right. So we've been playing around a lot with different tools me and Natasha have. So we're trying to figure it out. Okay, so anybody who's joined me before knows I like to share my wins and my fails a little bit every month. And so for July, my exciting thing is I have a baby on the way. My not so exciting thing is my weed patch is taken over my garden. My garden is an absolute wreck. So as you're coming in, if you have any like personal highs or lows from the month, please share with us in the comments. The other thing I would love to hear from you is if you are an active user of StreamYard, please let me know. Kim, I know that yes, you are. And then Kelly, thank you for letting us know that you're just taking the plunge into it. So we will kind of talk through based on like what y'all are needing. So let's just dive right in to feature number one, which would be wins and fails. Thanks, Kelly. Saying congratulations, thank you. And yes, weed patches are no good. I'm literally just like weeding around my individual plants. It's at this point. Like I'm just trying to keep them, alive. Okay, so we're gonna talk about hotkeys. That's kind of a feature that I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna use that, and I'm gonna share my favorite hotkey that I use almost every show I produce. Feature number two is the branding section, which has had a huge revamp to it just in like the past month since I have um, even posted this conversation to when I'm actually live. Like there's been a couple of different changes there. So I'm going to kind of talk through that. And then feature number three is reusable studios and why those are cool and why you use those. And then I'm also going to get into why I don't like some of the features that I don't like and why. And I would love, like, if you're here and you've used some of these features that I don't like and you like them, for you to kind of give me like a little bit of like, here's why I do like them. And then, of course, any questions, and please feel free along the way to jump in with any of your questions about StreamYard or anything that you've maybe seen that you have liked or not liked. But let's get started with hotkeys. So hotkeys is just like a fancy term. I know that they have them for other things too, where you can hit different keyboard combinations for things to happen. So there is a load of them. There are so many in StreamYard. And if you're ever curious about it, just hit the settings button. And it's settings and it's hotkeys. And some of them are like default set for you. And then others, like you can see like with this open private chat, open recording tab, that kind of thing, those are not set. So it's just like, especially if you are producing the show by yourself and you don't have a producer, I would recommend that you set up some of these, especially maybe like mute, unmute kind of thing. And then if you're going to share a lot, you can do like share hotkeys. My very favorite though is this create marker one that, let's see if I can make this bigger a little bit. Right here. So it's just hitting the letter B, like bumblebee, like B. And that I think is super cool because it will create a marker. Let's see, like this. Giacomo, I'm glad you're here because I used our conversation to kind of show it. But it creates a little marker in the conversation. So this is really cool for if you're trying to go back and edit, similar to like what I was speaking about earlier with the clips. What I would love to see, kind of to go on with that question that you had, Kim, is that if I hit the B button, that StreamYard would know to like pull from that part of the conversation. So as Giacomo and I were talking, I was like, oh, he said something really smart right here. And I hit like B, and that created this tiny little marker right here. And then I either go in and edit or my team can go in and edit and know that like I liked that part of the conversation and that's where I want to pull from. I also super love that they have the transcript in there now. That's not very new, but it's pretty new. I mean, I guess it's still in beta, so it's pretty new. But we love the transcript. That makes it super easy to edit because when you're like splicing it a little bit, you can just go off what word is there. So that makes it really easy. Love the transcript. And then it has a nice little bar that's exactly a minute long that you can just drag along the bottom to like the part that you want to get to, because most platforms that have like short form videos want it to be under 90 seconds. And so I believe it's 60 seconds that the little bar like automatically gives you, which if you post on YouTube, you have to have it be under that or it doesn't post as a short. Fun fact. Um, let's see. So I love that. Here's some other short keys that they have, like this mute, unmute, camera on, off, sharing the screen, sharing an image, that kind of thing. I don't use all of them. I don't use any of them aside from B most of the time. Um, but yeah, the like hotkeys are really, really valuable, especially like obviously for that B setting is like super awesome. And it's great too if I have a client who doesn't have, if they want to put in like where they liked part of the conversation, they can also hit that B button and it'll kind of like tell us where it's at. So love that feature. And I feel like that's one that almost nobody really knows about that I have worked with. It's kind of one of those that I love it because I'm always like, hey, hit me when you like part of the conversation. And every time I swear they're like, I forgot what the letter was. So it's B like Bumblebee. I'm trying to think like how we can make that sound like, like a very good part of the conversation, or I don't know, something. I don't know why they chose B. But anyways, that would be feature number 1. Feature number 2, the branding section. So if you are new to StreamYard and you don't know what that branding section looks like, I'm speaking about, it's called media assets and style. Those are the two that like I mean when I say branding section. But right now I'm going to talk about the media assets, which is the first place. So this is really, really cool and proved to be very valuable to me recently. So they have an option now for you to add multiple brands. So for me, back in September, when my area was flooded, I started doing this updates thing, updates from Appalachia, where I was going live to my Facebook and a YouTube page, and it was completely surrounding like what resources were available in our area, how to volunteer, that kind of thing. So not at all what my current lives are like, where I'm teaching about StreamYard or going live on LinkedIn. So I created an entirely different brand. And like, I mean, I use the word brand lightly a little bit because it's like mostly I had completely different overlays and banners that needed to be in there and things of that like that. So it was really cool because I was able to just separate the two shows. So it was easy for me to toggle back and forth when I would go live for work and then when I would go live for my community. So here's an example of what that looks like. I had this like green color in the mountains and that kind of thing for the branding for the updates from Appalachia, and then just toggling back down to Shelby's show where I have the overlays and things that are more blue color that are for the my work kind of things. So one thing I noticed this morning that I haven't seen for a long time, I haven't seen up until this point, is that they now have an option to add your own font, which is really cool. That's under the style tab instead of the media assets, but you can now add a custom font, which for me, that's awesome because there was, I don't know, 5 or 6 fonts that you could choose from. So really cool that they have that. Um, let's see. And then we had like, you can duplicate the brand. So say maybe you like a lot of the assets, but you want it just slightly different. Just hitting this ... You can duplicate and rename, delete, that kind of thing right there. So that's super duper helpful. Kim, this is nice to know. You said, I feel like you need to do another updates from Appalachia because it has been hard to know, like, do we keep like putting out information about it or do we move on because it's just kind of hard because we're at such different stages everywhere. I will say one happy thing is the bridge in my town finally opened. I think it was July 8th. and we drove across the bridge and we all cheered in our car, me and the kids and my husband. So there's definitely some happy things that are happening, but we still have loads of roads and homes and bridges that are still out. So yeah, maybe I will do one of them soon so that you can kind of see where we're at. Okay, so that's the really cool like brand section where we're able to separate things, like kind of how I had like two different projects. That's great. I know somebody else that I work with who had like similar branding for maybe their like marketing, like kind of stuff. And then they had like an internal coaching, which had just slightly different branding. So we duplicated that brand, added different, like a few different assets. And that way she can toggle back and forth whether she's going live to like live out to the world or if she's just doing like those webinars with her internal group. So thank you guys for being excited about our bridge because we were very excited about it. Yeah, so some things are coming back to normal and it is very, very, very happy. But it's also really hard. We still have several people. We have several people who are needing their bridges opened before they can get propane before the winter coming. So that's kind of our latest dilemma. So, okay, third feature is reusable studios. So again, this was kind of one where I was like, what would we use this for? Like, why would we need to use reusable studios? And so again, with the updates from Appalachia, this was super duper awesome because I would just go live in the same studio. So it's like right here, it shows that there was 13 of those videos that I did there. And the cool thing is you hit this view button and it takes you just to that playlist, if you will, which was super great for me because it was like I could separate them and I could keep all those things in one spot. I do know of another client who used this for like recording certain videos for a series that she was doing. So she had a series all about a certain topic, and so she was able to separate them. And I loved the way that like we used that feature for those. Hey James, good to see you. You missed my update about my weedy garden. I'm curious how yours is going this year. I always love seeing how it turns out. So we are getting cucumbers. At least we're getting some cucumbers and tomatoes out of the garden. So, but this reusable studios, I really love for that reason, for having it kind of more organized. And then having more of a, like, as soon as you go into that studio, it's already set up with all of the branding and things like that. Kelly says, I'm definitely excited about the reusable studio because you can keep all assets in there. Yep, and just jump in and go live. Exactly. So it's nice. It's like set up. It's wonderful for that. So that one is really cool. And now we're going to kind of dive into the spicy part of the stream where I share a few features that I do not like. So there has been loads and loads of updates about through Streamyard the past year. And at times I have considered breaking up with them, but here I am. I'm still here. There's still some things that I love that I can't give up, but there have been some features that I don't super love. So number one, scenes. So scenes is one that Riverside and Restream have that I think StreamYard was trying to copy that setup, which I know some people really, really love the scenes features in those other tools. I'm just not sure if they're not, because it's still in beta, so it's like maybe they're not quite up to par yet. But I went live, and Kim's here, so she'll appreciate what happened. So we went live, we set up some different scenes, and we started the stream. And if anybody's watched my course or heard me talk about overlays, the reason I love overlays is because you can put the overlay up, then you start your video, Then you take the overlay off and you put the guest up behind the video. So it's this really nice, smooth transition. And I really pride myself in a smooth start on StreamYard. And as soon as I went to to switch the scene, because I had set it up as a scene, it ended the intro video and we just had to kind of roll with it. And I was like, okay, I don't like scenes. Like, I'm not doing it. James says, I broke up and switched to Riverside. Awesome. I have so many happy things about Riverside too. So I'm glad that you're enjoying Riverside because I use both right now. And I really love Riverside, especially if you're not live. I think StreamYard's still better for the actual live portion, but I like Riverside a lot more for editing. So anyways, side note. So I don't love scenes in StreamYard. That's a feature that I'm like, in theory, like it says here, it should have everything added to stage, allowing you to set up in advance and structure your broadcast like a presentation kind of thing. And maybe I need to give it another go, but not a feature I would recommend, especially if you are just starting out. Not something I would recommend. The new branding layout, this rolled out for my account like last week, and I actually hate it. So the old way that it would like automatically add in these overlays was just in this nice little list, like right here, and you could drag and drop them. So I would always have like the intro, the transparent one, and the ending one in order. But now they have it in this like more grid style, and you can't move it around very easy. Like if you hit the dot, 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 you can hit like go to the top or something, but it won't let you drag and drop. So I don't love that. I don't love that at all. And I'm hoping maybe that's something they're working on to update because yeah. And then like we talked about earlier, the AI clips. I wanted to share what those look like right now. So AI clips, you go in after you've been live and it has a library option where it's like your past lives. And then you'll have your video above, like where you see this, where it says shorts and reels, you'll have your video, and then it'll say AI clips, generate AI clips. This is ready to generate. You'll hit that generate button. It takes probably 15, 20 minutes. And then it will automatically generate like all of these fun, like less than 2 minute clips. In theory, that's the idea, right? Which I was all about. I was very excited when I saw this. But I want to show you the difference between an AI clip generated by StreamYard and an AI clip that my team worked on. So I'm going to stop doing this. Natasha says, I hate that I can't organize the overlays anymore. Big gripe for us. Okay, so here is what StreamYard came up with for an AI clip. I am so happy that it's with me too. I feel very honored about that. Let's see, Kelly says we need a coffee with Kim Zoom meetup soon. I would love that.
Kelly, when you want.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think so. That was me and Giacomo back in March when we went live. And as you can see, it like goes back and forth between the two of us. It cuts weird, it kind of zooms weird, and it has the like automated captions, which are fine unless you get a word wrong, you can't edit that. So that is the option from StreamYard. Now I'm going to share what my team pulled. I have creators I work with that have 2,000 followers, and I have creators I work with that have 100,000 followers. They still notice those consistent people who show up, who comment, who engage on their posts.
So
like
true.
I don't think so. Just like an example of like we had a little bit more control about, there's no weird zooming going on. Obviously, we kind of put that into Canva to make the background a little bit. But the StreamYard AI clips are just super choppy and zoomy. Like they zoom in and out. They're just kind of strange. So yeah, James, I would love to hear about your experience with the AI clips on Riverside. I've tried them just last week. And I didn't like it. So I want to know how you feel about it. Um, yes, Giacomo, thank you. That is you. I appreciate you letting me use that. Um, but yeah, it's just like we still have to go in and we have to actually um, edit the video, which is fine. Like that's kind of part of what my team has offered for a while. But like it would be nice for everybody if we could do these AI clips. But like James was saying, I'm just not quite sure we're there yet. I'm not quite sure that the AI can pull um, the best parts of the conversation, first of all, and then second of all, the way that they have this like automatic zoom and these automatic subtitles, like it sounds like it would be a good idea. It's just not there yet. So, and that's kind of one that we've been watching. I don't know, Natasha, if you're still here. Her and I have been trying to figure this out for a good year or so. So yeah. Hey, LaShonda, so good to see you. And yes, Opus Clip is doing the best job with clipping. I would agree with you, LaShonda. Um, do you feel like they are like up to par for you, LaShonda? I would be curious if that if you are enjoying them. Because I don't know, just not a fan of any of the AI that I found for this purpose yet. But I do think that if there was an option for Streamer, like in StreamYard, for us to actually edit it once it's created, maybe like, cutting it a little bit more or less, that kind of thing. I think that it could be good. It could be a really cool feature and it could save me and my team a bunch of time and it could help people who are doing this by themselves, like create short form content really easily. But I've just not super loved it yet. So those are my features that I don't love. That is kind of the end of all of my things that I had for you today. Please let me know if you have any questions that I can answer for you. If you're new to StreamYard or you're liking things in StreamYard. Um, but yes, exactly. So LaShonda says with Opus Clip, there's not as many options to customize the branding, but for pulling the videos, it's a great time saver. Yeah, and then I'm imagining, LaShonda, you like put them into Canva to do more of like the branding. That's what I've done when I've used that in the past. So just curious if that's still what you're probably doing as well. Oh, and then I think, let's see, they also have this new tab called People, which came up just recently, like a week ago. And it's nice just because you can kind of see if people's audio is connected before you add them to the stage. So that is one feature I was excited to see this month. So that's a good one. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you all so much. Here, if you want to learn more about StreamYard, I put all of the things that I could think about in this LinkedIn Learning course. Here's where to go. The name of the course is titled StreamYard Tips for a Successful Live Events. And that is where I talk through a lot of like setting up the studio, how to make things go live smoothly. All of those things is in that. And then if you ever would like to work with me, this is a link to my website. It's just shelbymerriweather.com. And one of the most popular ways to work with people right now is helping them with 2 live shows and then kind of like handing it back to you. So kind of a teaching together moment, if you will. And so that is just where I'm at. And I'm just reading through your comments real quick before I say goodbye. I missed this comment from James earlier. You're growing. Okay, I have to tell you when I was doing I was adding the stock picture of my weed garden. And that's exactly what it pulled up to. I was like, I need to not say that when I'm live. So I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I said because I was like, don't say you're growing weed. I'm growing weeds in my garden, okay? Kim, thank you for saying watch the course. I've put a ton of my time and effort into it. Thank you for saying that. Um, Thank you so much for being here. You all are the best. And please, as always, reach out if you have any questions. I appreciate all of you so, so much. And hopefully, I will be back next month with more. So, thank you.